how come no one gets to interview Charles? Like he should also respond all these questions, all these interesting questions about him and his journey. And I immediately texted him like, I have an idea. Are you up to this? And he immediately said yes. So let's start with this. I asked some of the leaders, some of the people on my team, like if you could ask something to Charles, what would it be? And I got interesting ideas. So I'm very excited as well. And welcome everyone. I know we have people on your team, like the USA team, and also we have some Mexicans here and the Latam team. So it's a pretty good mix today. It will be recorded, so anyone that is um, hearing this later on the future, thank you for being here as well. So, are you ready, Charles? Are you excited?
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting take because I'm usually the one that's super inquisitive about my guests, and I always want to know. So the tables have turned, and I thought it was a genius idea right before convention and the cruise.
Yes, yes. So I bet everyone knows Charles or maybe had listened to his story before. So I don't want to start with tell us about you because probably everyone knows you. But just in case anyone does not know something like important stuff about you and your story, I would like to ask you when you start, what was your why? Like what was the reason that made you start? Like, what was your situation financially and personally to make you just turn around and look at this opportunity? What was your why back then?
Uh, I think for me it was a lot of frustration. Um, I think we all kind of go through that, and I like broadly speak that because I think my story resonates with a lot of people. Why we often join this business because we're frustrated with what's not working in our life. And me specifically, when I met Nicole, she already had two kids before I met her, and then I had a daughter before I met her, and then we had a child together. And so, like, just not being able to make enough was super frustrating because like you have a family and you want to provide for your family, you want your family to have a good life, and you fantasize about that. I think a lot of us do, and that specifically was for me. And just not making enough because I was working at the casino over here in Las Vegas at the Flamingo, and I was a poker dealer. And I want to say I was making pretty decent wages, like, for US dollars, for especially for your international. I was making around 32 to 3400 a month. And that was it. That Nicole was like had a side job, but she was pregnant too, having Shane. And so she would I remember this one day, and this is a heartbreaking situation where she was pregnant. She was 7 months in, and in that moment, like, she should be on like maternity leave, and we just weren't making enough. And she understood, like, okay, what can I do? I can work right now. And so she she decided to get a job over by Fremont Street at as a waitress because she used to serve before when she was a kid. And I remember just driving her there. And please don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with like serving jobs or anything. But I just remember dropping her off and just feeling like absolute crap for myself as a man, not being able to like provide enough income to be able to put her in a situation where, hey, you know, just rest at home and be pregnant and get ready to have a baby. And that was really hard for me. It honestly only lasted one day. She came out, I'm never going back there again. I don't want to, I can't. It was too hard for me. I'm pregnant. I'm like, okay, don't do it. And so we can get by off of what we're making. And just bottom line, with like 3 kids and then a pregnancy along the way, um, it was just challenging every single month. So there was always that thing in the back of my head, like, how can I get ahead? What else can I do to bring more income to the house? So in a lot of ways, like, we were actually shooting, like, I was trying a lot of things with Nicole just to like bring additional income to the house. And thankfully she has an entrepreneurship mind, because like she wanted to actually work from home already before evolution or anything like that. She created savingmoneyinvegas.com. And so she always was that hustler, to where like anyone who comes to Vegas, she'll get you the tickets. And she played the broker, where she would establish all these like relationships online and just make money off of the commission junction. And so that's what she would do. So in a lot of ways, like, that kind of helped, but like internally, for me personally, what made me join Evolution? It was Evolution actually was just a thing to try, another thing to try to get us ahead. So, you know,
I think I think many of us try some other stuff before evolution. I myself remember that I was trying to sell makeup because I enjoy that as well, and then I tried to sell bathing suits online, and
yeah,
besides the regular job that I had, but I liked the makeup thing, but it was not enough. Like, it was something didn't click, even though I enjoyed it. I don't know, something wasn't fulfilling enough. Probably it was also Nicole's maybe view of things. Like, she was trying some stuff, but just to have more money or be financially in a better position because of the kid that was coming, the baby that was coming. But what was then with evolution? What was the thing that you said, this is it, like, I'm no longer trying any more stuff? Like, why evolution? Why did you stick with the travel agency and, of course, the team building part? Because I know you divided, the jobs. Like, Nicole would sell more, and then you would do the team building part.
no.
When did you realize, and why was the reason, like, what was the reason that you stick to this? And when, like, in your journey, because we all start, and I saw some comments like, I'm not doing that great, I'm trying, I'm about to quit, or just the struggles that we all have at the beginning of a business. But how long did it take to realize this was it, and what was the reason?
Wow, that is such a big one, because I think more so like, instead of evolution, it was about the who. And I think everyone can agree how much, like, they all love the founder. Like, we all love the founder and how awesome he is. And when we first met him, I'm so loyal to the bone. That's just my thing, and Nicole is too. Like, we're just loyal creatures. So before evolution, believe it or not, what we do, David McCovey, the founder, was actually, he was inside another company, and he was a network marketer too. And so before evolution was even created, we had joined this company, uh, actually called Paycation. They don't exist anymore, but it was the same concept. Be a travel agent, make money. But the problem was, like, Nicole got in, and we were locally building like a team, because we're like, oh, this could actually get us out of debt. This could be the solution. And so along the way, we met David McCovey, and he was kind of like, the 2-star platinum in that company, right? And he had a lot of people. And when we met him, like Nicole and me just like got magnetized to him. You know, like there's something about him, like, and then Nicole was like, I want to be like him. She even one day braided because he used to braid his hair. She even braided her hair to be like him. It's crazy. I can't believe she did that. But like she internalized like I want to be like that guy. And so in that there was issues with the previous company. And the issues were, and here's a big one, especially for those of you travel bookers. Nicole was a heavy travel booker and she had 4 sheets of travel bookings, and we were 6, 7 months in. Where's the money? Where, where's where's our money? Like look, Charles, I have all these travel bookings. We're getting paid for recruiting and network marketing and all of that, but where's all this money for the travel booking? And so this is when we went to our leader, and her name was Jennifer, and we're like, hey, we have an issue here. We're with this company, and look at all of these travel bookings, and Nicole hasn't been paid a single dime on it. What's going on? She said the worst thing possible. Like after like 2 weeks, I'll look into it. I'll look into it. We're like, well, what's going on? What's the answer? Well, she diverted and said the worst words. She said, just don't worry about it. Just recruit. That to us said a lot about what this company is doing. And so now we had, at the time, even locally, we had about 150 people in our team, just local, all Las Vegas only. And we're like, okay, this is going to be an issue because if I'm not getting paid, then they're not getting paid. So what are we going to do? So then we decided to go above Jennifer and then eventually contact David. We're like, hey, David, you don't know us, but we're growing. We were kind of like almost golds at the time. So we were like silvers, right? We just want to let you know we have 150 people in our team. When we have some concerns, da 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 da, and then we explained it to him. And then what he said next surprised us because like all of you guys that are here, when we go on convention and we do have these FC vacations, and when we put it on social media, I'm sure all of you guys are paying attention to who's over there, right? Well, we were paying attention to all the leaders inside the previous company, and we noticed something. David McCovey was not part of one of the vacations. And so Nicole had contacted him like, hey, David, what's going on? What are you doing? Like, we're paying attention to like the live streams and everything, and you're not there. What's going on? And so David's like, man, I'm working on something right now. I can't tell you. But trust me, I'm gonna let you in, and then I'll tell you. And so we let about a week and a half go by, nothing. But we also noticed that David McCovey was not really participating in all the things. So then Nicole calls him again, like, David, what's going on? He goes, man, you're putting a gun to my head. He goes, all right, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna create our own company. Like I hear about a lot of the frustrations that's going on with this company, and I want to make sure that everything is correct and do it the right way. And then I think Nicole said this like right away. Whatever it is that you're doing, we're in. We don't even know this guy that much, but something about him attracted us to him. So like as soon as she said that, he's like, okay, bet, done. And so this is where so when you ask me the question, like when we figured out when evolution was it, I think it was more so who that we decided, right? But then again, even when we joined evolution, we had to start all over again. Like, okay, we started all over again. And then just like any brand new company, there's always issues. I don't care what it is. There's money issues, there's logistic issues, there's setting up the platform issues. And so it was very hazy. And I'm one to admit, okay, things are a little bit messy right now. So I'm gonna take a break, let this get figured out. So for 2 years, I kind of like, honey, you do it. And so she became the travel agent, Nikki Lee Live, all of that stuff. And then so I went back to not only dealing poker, but playing poker and then doing various things to also make additional income until one day, 2018 convention, we showed up and we saw all the people that were making the platinum walk. That was it. That was the click. Okay, 2018, I see Lynn Huddleston going up. She collected her 1 star. Valerie Rutherford, she went there collecting. I'm like, who are these people? Like, wow, they're walking on stage telling their story. They're crying. I'm like, okay, this is real. This is real. And then that's when I decided, honey, we're gonna be platinums. Let's go for it all the way. So yeah, that and I know those are long-winded answers, but I always have to provide a backstory, right, to like set up how I came to the decision. So it wasn't just like this one simple thing. There's a lot of makeup to it.
No, and I love the answer per se, like the loyalty
Yeah.
or the who. It's a big thing here, I believe. And I always say like to agents that maybe start looking around to other options or to prospects that are like, why Archer? Why not this other company or these other companies? And my answer is always like, well, I cannot tell you anything about the other companies because I have never even had a glance of them. Like I
You
have
never
never
needed to.
even I have never needed it and I never wanted to
Yeah.
because I'm good here because of the people that is here. Like I am loyal. Like I will never even think about leaving or doing something else or just because of the support that I have here. So it's a little bit like if I would have to say as well, I will also say like loyalty to people. Like it's not what I'm doing, it's with whom I am doing things. So I agree with that
Yeah, I
answer
mean,
as well.
like there's been many situations where like we think about our leadership and we're always going to have issues and problems in what we do, right? There's maybe like there are people who don't get along or there's a situation, but how does the leadership respond? Like, do they look for solutions and do they fix it, or do they say words like, "Nah, don't pay attention to that. Pay attention to this instead." And when you know that people have your back and they actually have your genuine best interest in mind, and then they prove it. Like to me, that's worth everything. That's worth something that I'll plant my flag in because, over and over again, the people here, and hopefully, like even with your situation, as you grew to be the amazing leader that you are, and some of the situations that you've come across, like it showed, like on my standpoint and even David's standpoint, that we had your back in number of situations. You know.
Yes. And also I well you say something like the mindset that you have with things. It's again, we all know who you are. Like you're the 5 star platinum, you have the biggest team in the company right now. But what was the
And we're saying the word right now because I think in the future, like you're gonna do a complete takeover. I
that's why I'm
really
saying right now. I'm coming, Charles.
yeah, I
But
know.
right now, you have the biggest,
I
and
see the
you will
numbers.
ever, you
Right.
will always have the biggest team in the company because I'm part of your team, and you have so many more leaders and stuff. And but what I want to ask you now is, what do you think that your mindset was, or how do I explain? Like you started this, or you and Nikki started this along with some other people, and many other people have come along and have been leaders and have started all this team building journey and the, you know, the travel agency as well. But what was the one thing that made you and Nikki grow more than anyone else? Like, what type of mindset did you have or do you have in order to be that successful? Because it has to be something different, right? Like, and I truly truly believe that the mindset that you have in life is everything. I talk a lot about this, about the mindset that you have, about that you need to motivate yourself. You cannot wait for other people to come and tell you what to do or why you should do it. And I believe you are the same. So I would like you to explain to us, what do you think that was the, what, like the factor that made you and Nikki grow so much and not the rest, you know, like why you?
I see. Oh, um, I want to say the power of experience. And I can't stress that enough. Or I should also say the power of heartbreak. When I first started this business, when Evolution first started, right? Um, Now, a lot of people know this story, but also a lot of people don't know the story. And I think this was the most important factor that prevented other platinums from failing because of this one experience that I had to go through. And so when we first started Evolution, now I hope everybody can follow me here. When we first started Evolution, for everybody to get in position and all of that stuff, David McCovey started with a $30 entry promotion. Anybody can join for $30. Okay, make your team and da 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 da. So the most two powerful leaders that I had was at the time Jamal and David Charles. They're two buddies. And so like before the actual grand opening launch date, we did a soft opening where everybody can come in for $30, which is cool. And that's how we originally made Platinum. Because we're like, all right, with the 150 people, hey, we're letting you know we're moving with this company. And so a lot of people kind of followed along. And by title, we became a Platinum. We never got paid as a Platinum, none of that. Because on paper, we were Platinum because of the numbers. But then, like, okay, so now what ends up happening is when the official launch date happens, that cycle that comes around, everyone's gonna have to pay their $99 monthly subscription. So everybody can afford $30, right? And so like they're like, oh, okay, let's get in position. But when that 99 rolls around, they're like, oh no, and that's when like um, a lot of people decided not to continue. Okay, so we were platinums by paper, but what ended up happening, like, okay, I'm a platinum now, we're platinums now, we're gonna get paid this much and this much. What ended up happening is Jamal had an issue with the system and something wasn't right. So accordingly, he did not get paid his gold because he got the gold at the time. And so because he didn't get his gold, he got angry. Now, because I'm the person that I am, I actually paid his gold pay out of my pocket. I'm like, I feel like you should get this. So I gave him his gold, right? But at the time, kind of like his heart and mind already made his mind up. And then he decided, I'm not going to continue anymore, Charles. So then he ends up leaving. And then David Charles ends up leaving. Now, I want you to like understand, for those of you guys that don't know, like when you're platinum, you have to have equal 1/3 to make 300 people. Well, his team was 2/3 of my platinum organization. So when he left, he took obviously everybody with him, and it just became dust. And so that was heartbreak. That was heartbreaking for me. And that's part of the reason why I kind of took a break. But then when 2018 rolled around, I decided when I told Nicole we're going to be platinums again, I just remember that heartbreak putting too much into my leaders. So relying so much on like person X and person Y that I told Nicole, we have to assume, okay, we have to assume that any leader that we create may leave at any time because this is real life. They might die. They might go into a divorce and their head's no longer in the game. They might not like somebody inside the company and then they just decide that they want to quit, like what happened to us. So, Nick, if we're going to do this, we can't just create 2 or 3 leaders. We have to create like 20, 30 leaders. So that way, if something happens to them, anything, then we'll be okay. So now I want you to imagine this measuring stick, because I know a lot of us, when we team build, we hold on to the leader that we have, right? The 2 or 3 leaders that we have. But the truth is, and I'm sure some of you guys have experienced this, something happens to that leader that, you know, she or that person doesn't want to do it anymore. They get mad at somebody or something happens. And so that lesson right there in itself, Marty became a platinum, Amy Cabrera, and like all these people, Denise Ippolito, even the Bertrands, you, Sarah, all in that whole entire process, I always think to myself, what if something happened to this leader? Assume that something happens to them and then they no longer can do this business anymore. Who's there to take place of that? So I try to create leaders within leadership, within leadership, within leadership. So like even with Courtney, Emily, and then you see like that whole lineage has like 15, 20 platinums. Your lineage has 15, 20 platinums. And my thought process is if a platinum makes enough income, they're not going to go anywhere, right? So like make sure that they get paid, because God forbid, if anything were to ever happen to like Sarah Rogers, then Chris Trujillo is there. God forbid. And you know what's funny is that Cheryl Rayburn brought Sushil. No, Cheryl Rayburn brought Sushil. Sushil brought Sarah. Sarah brought Catherine Morano. Catherine Morano brought Alejandra. Alejandra eventually brought you. But what happened to Cheryl Rayburn initially? She ended up dying. You know what I mean? So like you just never know how things play out. And so I think that in itself, the answer to your question is I had it in my mind, this big, enormous size of leadership. So when you ask me like what kept you going, is because I saw so far beyond just my initial platinum. Like I was thinking to myself, I can't just create 2 or 3 leaders. I gotta create 15. Well, it started off with 5 and then like 7, and then now it became like 15 platinums. So my initial mindset was make 5 to 10 platinums, you'll be okay. So it created this huge, large vision that I had. And then
So you basically, it was like a mindset of go big or go home, right? Like
that's
I'm
exactly
not
what it is.
stopping at goal, because maybe I think most of the agents that start team building, they start, at least here in Mexico, because we've talked about the wages here and the money here has, you know, more value. Like a gold for someone here in Latin America is way more than maybe in the US. Like in here, it's basically a salary, like an income that you could have, you know, in an enterprise or with a 9 to 5 job or even less, right? So $1,000 here is a lot. Like you can do a lot with that. So probably people start the team building part because they want to be golds.
Yeah.
And I believe that's the mindset that they have. Like I want to be gold, but not when when they are already there, they stop or they just relax, or you know they wait until they want more money to pursue the platinum. And there's I tell the gold leaders, like there's like a um I don't know how to say it in English. I would call it la maldición dorada, like the golden how do you say maldición in English? The
Curse.
curse. Yes. So the golden curse, because they stay there like forever, and it's so difficult for them to you know to grow into the platinum, because it seems like very 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 far away. But I think it's because of what you're saying. Like maybe since the beginning you were not thinking like I'm going to be a 5-star platinum or I'm going to be a 2-star platinum. You just think about the gold because that's good enough at that moment. So the go big or go home approach is something that we should all practice. Like we should really believe that we can do that, like we can do more. Because I always say this, like this story. My first team meeting was with you and Nicole. I was not even gold, I was silver. And I was really excited that, you know, that I had a, like a shout out on that meeting. I saw my name there, like the silver. And I believe that month I was like the top evolutioneer, like with 15 enrollments that month. So I felt like in the top of the world, like I'm the best of this company at the right. So I felt special. And then you were about to hit, I don't remember if it was 1-star or 2-star, but you were big. Like you were big enough for a new guy, like for a new girl just starting. So I saw you and I was like, I want to be like them. Like I want to be him. I don't fully understand the team building ranks or anything, but I need to be where he is at. And then I started studying all the ranks and, you know, doing it myself. I achieved the gold rank and then started um, teaching everyone how to do the same that I did. And that's how I got to platinum really quickly as well, because I just multiplied what I was doing, teaching everyone else to do the same. That was part of our success story here on this country. Again, also facing difficult stuff as you did, like when the company started. It was kind of the same thing here because everything started here, and even worse because we had like 2 vendors. Like it was, everything was new, everything was hard and difficult. So the go big or go home mindset, I totally agree, and I would invite everyone to really believe that you can do this. Like if we could do it, you can do it. And it sounds like something that everyone says, but it is true. The thing is that not everyone, you know, believes it at heart that they are able to do this. And in order for people to believe that, I would want to ask you, how does a day in your life look like before, like when you were gold, or when you were building your platinum, when you were just starting? How many hours of your day you worked? How does those hours were divided? Like what would you do just in a regular day, building, and you know, phone calls, Zoom calls, meetings? How did you work back then? Like how did a day look back then versus how does a day look right now, like being gold, platinum versus being 5-star? Because
Hello?
I believe whatever you say on the
Hello?
Hold on, let me mute her. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever you say like your day looked like probably would be similar of like for us like or for everyone that feels like they are doing too much or that they may be working too much or that the time is not enough. Like we all have the same 24 hours. So how was a day back then for Charles? And then explain to us the difference of what do you do now, like now that you're 5 star, now that you have all this money, now that you have many leaders that do many stuff so you can relax.
Yeah.
So what's the difference, how it's a day in a gold life versus a 5 star life?
I guess I can ask you the same question now at this point.
Yes, but you're
It's
not
such,
interviewing me today, so you don't
it's,
get to ask that.
it's such a huge difference. I want to say, like, um, in anything that you do, it's going to be front load heavy. It's heavy in the front, and then as you witness, like, even if you guys are following Chris Trujillo and the way she's living her life, like, she lives an amazing life. I want to say I live an amazing life, but when you start any business or any true endeavor, whatever it is that you do, it's going to be front load heavy. It's like it's so heavy in the front. So when she's asked me what my daily life was like from uh, beginning the adventure, and I'm so glad. Like, let me rewind here for a second because I want to touch on like something that you said. Like, you had such a large, like, it didn't matter. You joined the Zoom, you came to my meeting, and you're like, that guy, that girl, whatever it is that they're doing, I want to be like them. So it's like you already had this large measuring stick. So once you reached gold, yeah, it's cool, but it's not good enough. I'm gonna keep going. I got to platinum. Yeah, it's good. And I remember having this conversation with you, like, okay, I'm ready for my next step. It's like, again, platinum was awesome, but it wasn't good enough. Like, you just kept going, and so 2 star, 3 star, here you are coming to 4 star. You're gonna overtake. You're already now the number one income earner. But is it good enough? No, it's not good enough. Now I gotta go to the next thing. See how the mind works when your vision is so large? And there's a lot to be said about that. Okay, so when your vision is that large, it isn't good enough when you hit these like milestones. Yes, they're very, please don't get me wrong, please celebrate them. So my life, when we were going and we made the decision, when we made the decision to become platinum, already in our mind, we're thinking 300 plus people. Already with the intention, because of heartbreak, I already know, as we told the story, that people are not going to stay. Just because you bring 10 people doesn't mean the 10 people are going to stick around. So, like, I already thought. Now, some of you, like, in your mind process, this might be a little bit scary, but I have to get 300 people to get to platinum. But with the knowledge, knowing that people are going to leave already in my mind, I'm already telling myself, we got to get 600, 700 people because people come and go. So the work ethic is already going this high. And I already accepted the terms and conditions. Okay, I gotta bring 700 people somehow, some way to get to 300. That did not happen exactly that way, but that was my mentality, right? So, what did my everyday look like? I decided I'm gonna wake up. Okay, let's talk about some things. I got rid of all Netflix shows because me and my wife loved watching Netflix and we loved watching shows together. But we made a decision. We want to be a platinum. Let's get rid of shows. This is what we're going to live and breathe. This is what we decided. Okay. I sold a couple things, a number of things, and it bought me 8 months to make this business work. If I don't make it in 8 months, then I have to go get a job, right? I have to go back to what it is. So I already made the decision. 8 months, we got to figure this out. So it's kind of scary knowing that you only have 8 months. There's no like forever to do this. You have to make this work, or you have to go back to the life you absolutely do not like in terms of how you make income. So our protocol or our discipline was get rid of all TV shows, forget vacations right now. Let's just make money. Let's just book travel and build a team. Let's put ourselves on social media, which was like Facebook at the time. We even went as far as dating sites where I used to catfish and pretend that I was Nicole to get people to come to meetings. I'm not kidding. Like, we were all in. Whatever it took to get people in front of a presentation, we would do it. For real. So every day, if we had a meeting, I would do a one-on-one, right? One-on-one, get on the phone call. Now, this was pre-Zoom, so we weren't really using Zoom at the time. We were, but I wanted to get to that number 300 so fast. And I think we did corporate presentations like twice a week. I'm not gonna wait twice or push everybody to like Wednesday and Friday. Like, I need to close now, right? So every day we would try, as soon as I get somebody interested, do you have 3 or 4 minutes for me to explain this to you? And then that would be my elevator pitch. If they would be interested, then I would set up an appointment with them. Okay, this is going to take me about 45 minutes to an hour to explain it to you, but let's make an appointment, because if you need to do something, go to the store, you might have to break away. So let me go ahead and explain this. I swear to you, it got to a point where I was doing like 7, 8 one-on-one presentations a day. Didn't matter. I didn't care. Like, I need to close people now. And then when Wednesday or Friday came around, believe it or not, like, and I hope I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but whoever was doing the presentations at the time for the corporate, they weren't doing a good enough job. I felt like I was getting a better closing ratio than them. So I'm like, you know what? I'm closing people left and right. I know what I'm doing. So out of 3 people that I would talk to, I would close 1. That was my ratio. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to talk to 12 people to bring in 3 or 4. That's what it is. So imagine what my day was like. I wouldn't stop. And then we did the math, 8 months. Okay. We got onto our phone. We're like, all right, we need to make 300 people divided by 8 months. We have to bring 37 people a month, right? So that's 1.3 people a day. That's what Nicole, like, if we want to get to 300 within 8 months, we have to bring 1.4 people a day. So now it becomes more manageable. Okay, that's what we'll do. 1 person a day. Just think 1 or 2 people a day, 1 or 2 people a day. We would fight tooth and nail every single day. So I would wake up at 7, take my kids to school, and I stay up because I want to talk to somebody in New York. I want to talk to somebody, and I go all the way now 3 p.m., 6 p.m. in New York. So I want to talk to West Coast people and this time. But wait, I want to talk to someone in Hawaii because they're 3 hours behind me when it gets around 9 p.m. So like it's 7 p.m. for them, so that's more realistic. So let's market to everybody, and then let's set up the appointments accordingly to their time zone. So imagine like me talking to 6, 7 people a day just to get that 1 or 2 people. Sometimes I would blank out. Yeah, sometimes I would be like, oh my gosh, I got nobody today. But that was my discipline. I would go to bed refusing to, like, I remember 11:30, midnight, I was still pitching. I would be outside. Nicole was cooking dinner, and I was outside on my speakerphone at the park, and there was like spit. I just remember it. My phone smelled so bad because I was pitching for so long. I would sit there and get my shirt, and I would have to do this to wipe all that spit off the speakerphone. Eventually, I got myself some Bluetooth headphones, so that way I don't have to carry this phone around doing speakerphone all day. But every day, that's what I did. So again, front load heavy. in the front is so heavy. I did that until we got to about 248 people, around there. We were closing in on platinum. We're like, okay, we just need to bring 62 more or 52 more, whatever it is, right? Like, let's do that. And already 52 more, that means I have to bring 80 more people. Like, mentality, again, large bar. So we just kept our blinders on. We worked. Nicole would tell me, okay, this person quit. Okay, it's fine. Just get me another person. Let's keep going. If they quit, they quit. Let's just keep going. Right? So you can imagine that kind of mentality, day in, day out, day in, day out. No breather. Eventually, in time, I remember like the Burns was one of them. She locked down like 8 people, and so nobody can get me to close for them. So just to kind of give you an idea, I'll give you an example. Did I bring all 300 people or 240 people myself? No, it didn't work that way. Let's say I brought Chris Trujillo in. Once I brought her in, Chris Trujillo, if you know anybody, and I would do the referral thing, if you know anybody, you know how I explained this business to you, and it made sense, and you came on board, let me do the heavy work for you. If you know anybody that would like to make a few extra income, introduce them to me. I will explain the business model to them. Should they like it and join the business, I will put them in your team. So if I close it for Chris Trujillo, or I close it for Sarah, or I close it for Amy Cabrera or Tommy Joe, they're happy because anytime I close somebody, somebody goes into their team. So they're like, that's a lot of heavy work off of me. That's how I was able to get to that number, because I brought in, let's say, 20 people, 25 people myself. And then out of those 25 people, I would tell them the same thing. Let me explain the business. And then they would introduce me to people, and then I would close them, and then Eventually it got to a point where like, all right, I got to do Zoom. Let me do a Zoom. Guys, bring all of your prospects to 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Okay? 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. I will do the presentations for you. I would do 2 presentations a day on Zoom because I was used to doing 8, 6 to 8 already. So 2's nothing. 2's like taking a break. You know what I mean? So I would do it on Zoom. People would bring their people on Zoom, right? And I would do 2 presentations a day, 6 days a week. But I also knew the reality of taking a break too. I took Sundays off because Sunday I gave to church, I gave to my family, where I don't have to think about work or anything like that, right? Look, if my mentality was, if God designed the world in 6 days and he rested on the 7th, I should probably have followed that same blueprint too. So that's kind of my mentality. And I told all of my agents, look, I'm here for you 24 hours a day, 6 days a week. But on the 7th day, let me just rest my brain, but I'm go. So that gave me the energy to do, like, when Monday came around, let's go, let's do it. I can't stress enough that taking that one day off, like, allowed you to revitalize your body, your mentality. Otherwise you get burnt out. So even then, that was my lifestyle, grinding all the way to platinum, all the way to 2-star platinum. We never stopped. Like phase 1, bringing new people in, we never stopped to 2-star platinum. By 2-star platinum, I believe we had like 8, 9 platinums at the time in our organization. I'm like, okay, we can breathe. And then that point, everybody's growing. Everybody basically took our energy, our formula, our presentations, and then they evolved it. They made it better. 3-star platinum came around, 4-star platinum came around, 5-star platinum comes around. So when you ask me the question, what's my lifestyle like now? It's like, it's front load heavy. Now I have so many leaders that my attention now goes to arbitrating a lot of, like, let's say, leadership issues. But I want to say at this point, my leaders are so strong that they know how to handle a lot of the issues today. So now it's a well-oiled machine where everybody just kind of knows what to do. So it's pretty incredible, like to see like what I'm able to do now and what I'm able to afford. And then here we are, another good example, Sarah Rogers, Chris Trujillo, like when I watch you guys live the life that you guys do, I'm like, that's it. That they've reached that status. Like they can do whatever the F they want and nobody can tell them anything. So yeah, that's probably the biggest difference.
And you mentioned something that I was going to talk about later, but I'm going to just do it now. About the leaders, or about the role that you have that becomes more managing stuff. And what you just said, like we deal with people, and I believe that that people, when they grow, when they get to platinum, 1 star, whatever, they don't expect the amount of trouble that a platinum or that a leader at this point gets. And it basically is managing, and managing stuff, and you get all the complaints and you get all this negativity sometimes. As we work with people with different personalities, then we kind of become psychologists, and like mediating between people that we care about. Like we care about you and we also care about you, but then I need both of you to to get along.
Right.
Like it's the people managing part of this is something that I believe no one prepares you to. Like you don't even expect it. Like I signed up for being a travel agent, and then I signed up, to be a leader or to do whatever I do as a platinum. But I think until you are living there, like until you get to a certain point, then you start realizing like, oh, that's what she was talking about. Like, oh, that's what she meant. And I remember a lot. I also always tell this or say this, like I hated Sarah Rogers. I hated her when I was a gold. I couldn't stand her. And every time I talked to her, I rather go to Charles, but I needed to talk to Sarah sometimes, because she's my immediate leader in the US. And at the moment, no one else was growing in Mexico, so I had to go to you guys. So whenever I talk to Sarah, and being Sarah as she is, she would sometimes, say things that I didn't like the tone that she said it, like just I felt that she was dismissing what I was saying or my concern or whatever. I would always say like, this bitch, who does she think she is? Like I really
I remember
believe
that.
that I hated her. And then when I became a platinum, even a 1 star, I don't remember, it was fast. And then I was like, oh, I owe her an apology. Like I understand now that I'm wearing, her shoes. um I understand why she responded like that, why she, said what she said, and I understand and I respect it. Like, and probably now I'm the Sarah that some people hate. And it's normal. I will always tell them, just wait until you're a platinum.
Right.
Because it's, for me at least, is the hardest part of the job, like managing people. And talking about that, what's the hardest thing that you have encountered? Like what's the hardest decision that you have ever had to make in the leadership role, like people wise? um what's the most difficult thing that you've overcome? And I believe this question is for me. Like Chris is asking this question, like what's the hardest thing that you've had to do or deal with, leader wise,
Yeah.
that you have encountered in these 8 9 years?
Um, when it comes to yeah, leadership, um, I kind of learned early with Jamal and Dave Charles, like not everybody's gonna get along. And that in itself prepared me like, okay, and I've always been a pretty good diplomat. Like
Yes, you are.
I'm good at diplomacy. And so like I don't take things personal, and I look at what people are going through, and I look for the solution that can work for everybody. And so like when there was so many times, so many, especially when you get a bunch of women together,
Yes.
thousands. It is so crazy. So like just to be able to mediate a lot of these issues, that wasn't the most difficult part for me, but there has been some hairy situations. One primarily, um, Sarah. Sarah's is like probably the biggest firecracker and the most like heated one, where like there was one point where she felt like I didn't have her back or something, right? And she got mad at me. And then she started attacking me. I'm like, what, big,
I remember I was there.
right. But so like, I also know her because I've trained her for so long that people have a fight or flight mentality if their feelings are hurt. And I know when her feelings are hurt, her first reaction is to attack. And so once I recognize that, like, this is where being, like, when you say managing people, let me recorrect that. We're not managing people, we're managing personalities.
Yeah.
Because everybody's so different. Like, you're so different. I remember this one time where it was truly incredible. Like, it was probably bad news for you, but like if something had affected your gold pay or something like that, and then once I explained it to you, like I don't think you even responded back to me. You just like took it and made sure that never happened again.
Mhm.
Like, so I just knew you were a trooper. Like, I don't care about excuses. I don't want to hear no bullshit. Let me just keep going. Even with the whole I remember one of the leaders that was ahead of you, they were very like they felt bad, or they may felt jealous, or they created a lot of situations where it had a lot to do with you because maybe you were surpassing them or whatever. And then when I brought it to your attention, you were like, look, I just don't care about this drama. I just want to work. That's all I care to do. And that's the exact kind of mentality. So like I just knew how you operated. But then like with Sarah, like she's different, right? Like she trusts me, she loves me, and then like she heeds my advice. She literally like does everything. She's like another version of me, like you're like another version of me because we aligned ourselves with that mentality. But then this was a situation where she felt like she was hurt by me because I didn't have her back in that situation or whatever. And so she like verbally like just attacked, not just once. This was like a couple occasions. But then I also realized like this is coming from a place, this is how she responds when she's hurt. And so the way I handled it, like as a coach and dealing with this personality. And she's one of my leaders too. So like I have to smooth this over. Look, Sarah, we're gonna talk about this. I love you. So I just gave her a big fat hug, physical touch, just to let her know, like, have her truly feel that I care for her. And she needed to feel that. Okay, and then let's get together. Let's we'll have a dinner and we're gonna talk about this, right? And then that's how we were able to smooth it over. And in a lot of situations, like I've dealt with like almost every platinum, believe it or not. One of your platinums called me just yesterday, and she wanted to have a conversation with me about how to deal with grief. and this is how it's affecting her work performance at work. And like, I'm so glad that she did reach out to me because I had to have a touching conversation because this is a whole different element that she's not used to, and felt like she needed to talk to somebody that she can relate to when it comes to losing somebody. And so I thought that was such a powerful thing. So, just being able to manage the different personalities and individualize and isolate the thing that makes them tick, the thing that makes them want to push themselves. Here's another situation. I remember Sarah calling me one day, and then like she was talking, complaining. I'm like, ay, ay, ay. All right. You know, you can, you can just quit and go get a job. You know that, right? And then she just shut up. She just stayed quiet for about 30 seconds. And then she
It
hung
was
up,
my like my reverse psychology with Gabi whenever
right?
she played. Yeah.
Exactly like that, right? But I knew it would work for her because she already, made so much. So what's the point in complaining? And you know what I mean? So I'm like, well, you could always get a job and go back to work. And she just got so angry and she hung up on me. But then what it did to her the next few months, she became who she is today. So, yeah.
And I wanted to talk about this because I truly believe that people sometimes, like agents sometimes, just think about enrolling people and where do you prospect or Facebook, or bringing people in is the easiest part of the leadership role. Bringing people in is the easiest part. Keeping them in is the hardest. And what you need to focus on, I believe as well, is in improving your people skills, improving your leadership skills, like reading books, going on YouTube instead of Netflix. I also always say this to my agents, like, you want a team build, you want to go, you want to platinum, cancel Netflix, cancel all the streaming apps, stop going to the movies, stop doing, anything that doesn't have to do with this, with your goal, because otherwise you won't do it. Or maybe you will. If you don't want that kind of stress in your life, then it's okay, you might get it eventually. It will be slower. Maybe if you want it in 5 years, that's fine. It's okay. But if you want to be the best, if you want to get it done correctly and as fast as you can, then you need to do all this sacrifice. But mostly, like, you need to focus on the people, like the reaction that you have with people, as the things that Charles tell us, that it was like a moment where maybe Sarah was like, okay, then I'll stop complaining, and I'll do this. And then she grew a lot and also accomplished her goals, just because something Charles did. Maybe just something he said, or the way that he reacted, like he was able to detect how she needed to be treated, or what she needed to hear at that moment, at that specific moment. And that was what made the difference. So I cannot stress this enough as well. Like, you are very important in the path of people, like how you react and how you treat them, and the timing is really important. Like, when you see that someone is like hustling, like that they ask for help, that they listen to all the things that you tell them, that they really apply the things that you tell them to do, then you need to stick to that person and make sure she or he keeps growing, because it's her moment, or these people, like this agent's moment. You need to detect, you need to be able to see beyond what people tells you, or what people, you need to see beyond the things that are happening. You need to think of the future of that people, of that agent, and the leadership that you must develop is the most important part of this journey. And it will mark the difference between maybe being a platinum someday, or maybe getting to gold someday in 1 year or two, or being one of those leaders that people will always remember, or that people will say, I want to be like her, like I want to be like him. Like, it will really make the difference. And I don't know, Charles, if you have like a list of 2 or 3 things that you maybe didn't have at the beginning that you develop just as, leadership, like, I don't know, motivational speaking, or how, what are 3 things that you studied or that you didn't have that in you like before, and then you realized that you needed to learn that skill in order to be the leader that you are today? Like, if you would say 3 things that you focused on learning so you could do a better job as a leader, what would those 3 things be?
Um, I want to say when it comes to leadership, like my biggest turnaround in understanding how to lead is through uh, the five the 5 P's of leadership from John C. Maxwell. He does the whole leadership. I covered this in a number of trainings. The 5 P's, from permission, or position, permission, production, people development, and then pinnacle. So that in itself, like that, truly turned me around to understand leadership at a whole new level. And then, of course, like you said, like YouTube, I listened to Simon Sinek. He talks about leadership and like what you're willing to do for your people. Like when when your people realize, like even in the military, and I can't stress this enough, like what determines a private be willing to die with their captain in a mission that is probably going to outnumber them, or it's going to be a bad situation because they trust their leadership. They're willing to go through hell or high water with their leadership. But in order for you to gain that leadership, that leader or captain proves to their squad, their team, that they're willing to die for them too. And so, like, I know for example, like for me personally, me and Nicole has personally gone to bat for a lot of our agents. Like sometimes it requires us talking to the founder or corporate for them, to be able to accommodate a specific situation, and our agents know that we have their back, right? Our leaderships know we have their back. And when your leadership knows that you have their back, they will get your back. They will go with you all the way. So, like, it's say, for instance, if I decide to tell everybody I'm no longer going to continue this business and I'm going to go to another business, when you reach a certain pinnacle leadership, just like David McCovey did, we followed him without question. And I certainly hope that I proved myself. I would never do that because I want the best benefit. But if, for instance, if there's ever any situation where my people are getting wronged, not me, my people are getting wronged, like for some crazy reason, David McCovey decides not to take care of the people, that's going to be a problem because our people are important. But thankfully, we do have a founder that is aligned with my thinking. We have to take care of our people, and so in that, that's the biggest lesson that I learned in terms of leadership.
And I got this um this question from many people that want to ask you this, because I believe every single person has thought of this, and they would say, like, who hasn't thought of this? Have you ever thought of quitting? Because it's something that probably at some point people, you know, If you have something personal, or someone sick is in your someone in your family is sick, or if you had another job and then you suddenly you don't have that job and you cannot pay the monthly fee, or anything like something bad happened and then you're like, I'm just going to quit. This is not for me. um Probably I'm not at the right moment or at the right place. Have you ever thought of quitting at all?
Other than when we first started, technically speaking, I kind of want to say I did deject. Like I never quit. I always paid my monthly, but I was like, let them figure this infrastructure out. Let them figure it out, and once that's figured out, I'll go 100% because it's such a new company that things were a little bit rocky. But other than that, once we made the decision 2018, never, never. I never thought about quitting. Come hell or high water, we make this work. And so again, like I said, our bar, like along the journey, our bar was too high. And I think more or less what's important is to see the real stories. And the reason why I want to say Rising Tide and now Time Travelers and Explorers did so well is, and I agree with this with David, is because that me and Nicole showed by example that you could actually do this full time and make a living off of it. If you paid attention to all the other like platinums, a lot of them, when they were platinums at the time, they still had jobs and they refused to quit their jobs, right? And so what does that tell their leadership? This is leadership. They never quit their job because they get good benefits. They always give a reason, but they have a full-time job, right? And they're still platinums. Somewhere in your brain tells you, oh, so you're telling me platinum's not good enough? You mean to tell me the money that you make is not good enough to actually quit your job? That's subconscious. That's in the back of everybody's mind. If my leader cannot quit his job doing this business, then can I really do that? So me and Nicole, we actually set that example. We don't have anything else. This is our income. This is how we make our money. And in turn, what did it do? It created full timers in Sarah Rogers, Amy Cabrera, Christina Bertels, you, right? And the list goes on and on. Estefani, Gabby. Now, this is their full time income. There is no other income. Now, at this point, with the money that you make, we can diversify. Now I have other income coming in with other things that I do because I raised enough capital to be able to do that, right? And then, of course, allocating a lot of the money that I make into more education into my brain to learn new and better, stronger things. So that way I can be a more powerful marketer, digital marketer, or whatever it is that is going to contribute to the growth of this business. So, little things like that.
Yeah, you definitely have always set the example. And I remember also a conversation that we had. You probably also remember this. When I was a gold, I was the first gold here. And then I still had the makeup thing in another company. It also was like a network marketing thing. And I posted something. I was already gold. And I posted something, and Charles told me, like, what are you doing? Don't do that. Like, forget about that, because, and he just explained what he just said, like, why would people follow you? Why would people listen to you when you say that this is the best business, when you're prospecting or where you're recruiting at, social media, Facebook or whatever? Then they will see your profile, and they will look at this duality that you have, like you are a travel agent, but you also sell makeup, but you also do this and that. People will think that the travel thing is not good enough, that you don't make that much money as you are saying, that this is not the best opportunity you have, because otherwise, if it was, you wouldn't be, uh, doing this other stuff, like complementing this other stuff. And it made total sense to me. Like I immediately dropped it. And today, as a platinum, I always also say that to the people. And it's like you always have to teach what you learn. Like that's why Charles's team and Charles's leader, um, even if they have their own teams and even if they have their own activities for them and their team meetings and everything, everyone can work in a different way because we all have different personalities and different things that we like to do, but we all learn from the same people, like Charles and Nikki. So we try to replicate that with our leaders as well. So that is also why we are a successful team here in Mexico and Latin America, because I mean, it's very easy. You just need to copy what he did. Like he figured it out. Charles and Nikki figured it out first. I just need to do the same. Like I just need to learn from them and do it my own way. Um, tweak, tweak here, tweak there, and then I will have a similar result. So that's very important as well. And I do have two more questions, and I'll leave you because I also talk a lot just to Charles, even though
You're thorough.
I always say like you don't know how smart I'm in Spanish. I would love to, like everyone would be bilingual and I could just speak Spanish here. I do my best with my English, but it's not my, my first language. So I hate it. I hate speaking English. That's something that you need
You're
to know
very
about.
smart. It's
But then what's the on a positive note, just to end on a positive note, what's the greatest satisfaction that you had in all these years? Like I already asked you, what's the most difficult thing that you had to do, or the difficulties, but what's the greatest satisfaction that you've had in all these years, if you just need to choose one, of course, besides the money, because we love money, but besides that, what's the greatest satisfaction that you've had?
I think it was this one text that my son sent me, and I hope I can find it in time. Let me see. Here it is. It was my birthday, and I think this gave me the validation and the most satisfaction. So my son wrote me, "Happy birthday, Dad. I've been having so much fun with you. I love you so much, and you're such a good dad. I couldn't ask for anyone better. Thank you for being my life coach and making my life so much easier, teaching me how to do so many various things. Thank you for everything you provide me with. I hope you had a fun birthday because I had fun today. Thank you so much, always, for staying with me. You're my hero. I love you so much." So,
That's the goal.
so that right there, like, I remember growing up, my mom, she had her own sewing factory, and she was always so busy. And so she worked from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and she left me alone a lot growing up. And so because of that, I got into a lot of trouble. I was a very bad kid. And I didn't even, I dropped out of high school. I later finished high school, but I dropped out of high school, and, I was into like drugs and all kinds of bad stuff because I didn't have any guidance. And so to turn around, to be able to have that freedom, to have a growing young man, growing young boy in my house, kind of like your son, but actually being there for your child, to teach them, to coach them, to guide them. I coached him how to kiss his first girl. I coached him on how to get a girlfriend. I coached him on how to flirt. Now I'm coaching him how to navigate this thing we called life as he grows into an adult. And I'm not so sure if I wasn't around that he'd have that level of coaching, you know? And to me, like just that one statement right here for him to be able to, by admission, call me his hero, that means everything to me, you know? So that is probably my most satisfying validation. And of course, by second and third, seeing like Courtney Palladino, you, Christina Bertels, Jody Wariski, like just Amy Cabrera, Sarah, all the leaders like living their life. Like when I see social media and I just like I don't do a lot of thumb scrolls. I don't scroll too much, but when I do, I see your pictures. And then like when I see the way you live the way you're living your life, like that brings a smile to my face, and that to me is like everything, you know. So that those are also validations. Like I'm happy that your guys' life is completely changed. So yeah,
We are very lucky. We us like the all of us that are parents that have kids. I think that's the most important thing that we get with this business and with the financially the freedom that we get, time and money, it's all after a lot of work, a lot of hustle. But as you say, like we are here to give them more than we had, like to be better, like to try to give them all of the things that we would want to, receive from our parents. And mine, for example, they both worked all day. They had two jobs. They were teachers. So I would live with my grandma. Like she would cook, she would take care of me, she would do everything, and I would just see them like at night. And right now I'm here all day. Like my son can go to any summer camp that he wants because mom can't afford it. And now the conversation that I had with my parents, it's like very different that the ones that my son has with me whenever I go to sleep with him. He's like, Mom, when are we coming to Xcaret again? Like I wanted to go to Nickelodeon resort. Like um from 1 to 3, what are your top hotels, like the ones that you like the most? And I'm always like, what are you talking about? You're 7.
yeah.
Like shut up, kid. Like just do your homework. But
Like
he's always like doing a countdown, like, oh, we're going to convention this year. It's the first time that I'm going to bring him to a convention.
that's awesome.
And he says like, oh, are the travel agent fans going to meet me? Like he thinks he has fans.
Yeah.
And are you famous, Mom? Like are they coming to see you? And I'm like, well, not to see me, but they will see me. And then he will watch me on stage, and it will open some like other conversations with him. It also makes me emotional all the time. But it's like, you are a great dad. I always also look at the stories that share. And you are a cool dad. Like you are a cool dad. And I think Shane is in a wonderful age. Like he's grown up, and I can't wait for my son to be like 15 or something like that and just travel the world with him. And this is something that I wouldn't be even close to think that I was able to do if I didn't have this business. So just to wrap this up, what's next for Charles in this business?
Well,
What are your current goals? Where are you going next?
before I get into that, I wanted to touch on like what you were talking about is everything that you're saying, like getting your kid to conventions, him being able to watch you on stage. They are actually eyewitnesses to the work that you're doing, and that just like builds into them like,
Mhm.
wow, this is my hero. Like my mom is just so incredible. My dad is so incredible. And they grow up, they don't understand it yet because he's 7 years old, but to be able to absorb these things as they're growing up, they're just like, it will make sense to them later, all the work. And not only that, just being able to be at home with you, you know? So as far as what's next for me, my goals, what I want, that's a good question. I've been kind of like waiting for a huge commitment, conviction, like there's so many things on my plate that I know I can do. But right now, what seems to be taking up a lot of my time is my son is becoming another version of me. And now he's getting into martial arts. He wants to compete. And he's going to do his first kickboxing match come the 19th. So he's going to be at a hotel. He's going to get inside a ring. And there's going to be other kids trying to beat him up. So, like, now I'm taking on another, like, coaching role into this martial arts world. It's kind of bizarre. Now I'm, like, helping all these kids into, like, this martial arts because that's always been one of my passions. Kind of like, I don't know, traveling is for you and makeup is for you because you do amazing makeup. And like these are part of the things that he has now really grown adapted to. So I'm teaching him everything that I know. Like you got, I guess at some point, in order for you to grow, you have to teach others. And so like now is the part where not only am I doing this incredible business with all of you guys and enjoying all of your guys' success, but now like I feel this calling that I'm, having putting a lot of time into my son so he grows up into this amazing adult. So, that's currently right now, but other than that, I'm having a lot of fun educating myself in a lot of like video editing. Now, artificial intelligence has become a big part of integration of what I'm doing to where like I'm going to cover a lot of that, how you guys can be able to utilize that in the convention training. It's incredible like where we are at with that. So right now I feel like I'm learning a lot, but I'm giving a lot in these kind of different worlds. So now for my next big thing, who knows what that's going to be, but I know that right now, it, before I started network marketing, I was really gathering a lot of information and growing and learning, being a student again. So thankfully, I have the time to be able to do that, to now, learn this, and then now, of course, pass it on to everyone inside this business, of course, especially my son. So, before you know it, like you're going to be in this magical place like you aren't already. But now you get to spend all this quality time with your son, your family. He goes back to school, all of this stuff. But like as the years go by, like he's going to grow up into this like young adult. Maybe he becomes your best friend. Who knows what's in store. But there's gonna be a time where like your children has a lot of your attention. And you're gonna want to be there to answer that call to make sure that they grow up to be the most confident, wonderful human being. So that's kind of like what's on my plate these days,
That's the plan. Hopefully,
right?
he won't ditch her his mom just to go with the girlfriend.
Right.
I'm hoping. Um,
My question to
but
you is, what's your next thing?
my
What is your next hugest goal? I know you've been working on Disney and getting the plans for that, right? And then, you got your social media's absolutely bonkers. Your social media is doing phenomenal. Your team is doing great. Where now what for you?
that's a very hard question because I this whole month I've been, like thinking of it.
All right.
Um, I am going to Disneyland, yes, on Monday, July 21st. Yes, I am. I mean, we learned that we were all going, like it was just luck or something. We were all just going the 21st of July. But I don't know. I don't enjoy booking travel anymore. That's for sure. Like
You
I
have an entire team that does that now, right?
exactly, yes. For I started this because I wanted to be a Disney travel agent, but I don't like it anymore. Like I found my true passion, I believe,
People.
on in teaching. Like I think I'm good at it. And I like, talking to people, and I fell in love with the team building part of it. But it also, you can burn out of, some stuff, like people texting you all the time and you needed to be there all the time. It's exhausting. And sometimes you just live to be there for people. And it's part of the job, and it's cool. But you also need to find things for yourself that can keep you going. And I think that I realized that, like, a few weeks ago, um or maybe months, but I started to work on this just a few weeks ago. So I right now I am educating myself as well. Like I have bought, like uh, courses that I can do on YouTube, on like creating courses for online, like just the social media stuff.
Yep.
But I don't think I enjoy the short format of it.
Yep.
I think I want to try the long format videos, which is YouTube. And I'm just trying to, like, all the time I've been thinking like, well, of course the the people expect you to do the travel videos, like Disney videos and stuff, but I don't. Every time I travel, I find myself not wanting to do it. Like, I don't
Right.
enjoy it. I don't want to vlog my travel. I don't know. I just it's something that doesn't come easy, and it should. If I love something, it should come easily,
Right.
and it hasn't. So I decided what I'm going to do. It's not Disney related. It's more of a mindset coaching and motivation stuff, like changing lives stuff, like talking about this opportunity as well, of course, and sharing some success stories also. So yeah, that's my next big thing. Of course, I'm going for my 4-star, and the double 1-star and 5-star. Yeah, I mean, of course, I never stop working with my leaders for towards that. Like for me, it's more like if they grow, I will grow. Like
Right.
my main intention is for them to grow.
Yep.
I have this we always do, like I showed this last convention, the like the how do you say it, el cuadro de honor, the thing that I always do for them in Canva, where I put like empty plates and they need to fill them with their
Vision board.
flyers, with their promotion flyers. We also do that, like, yeah, like the honor award board. So every time, like every May 1st, I will do this for them. So that's our goal for the whole team, to bring so many or a certain amount of plagues to next convention.
Right.
So not for this one, but for the 10th anniversary,
Yeah.
I'm planning on getting at least 15 platinums, like awards, and like 20 golds. So that's my big goal for this. Like,
Right.
yes, if the 4-star comes along, it's good,
Right.
but I just want more platinums so they can also live this life, right? And for myself, just educating, like I'm just on student mode as you. Like right now, Sophia was asking me yesterday, like, how many things do you learn at once? Like I was like two or three, because I honestly, I found again like something that sparks that, that hustle in me, because I didn't had it for a little, like for a while. But now I found something that is giving that to me again. So it will be good for the business as well, but it will also fulfill my own, you know, dreams that I
Yep.
have besides this. And as you said, we are lucky enough to have the time and the resources to buy anything that we need to. Like I want to start a podcast. I decided I wanted to start a podcast, and 5 minutes later I was just purchasing everything that I need, like the microphones and the everything, because I can.
Yeah.
So that's something that I want everyone to experience. Like you don't have to look at the price tags, you don't have to worry about money, because you already worked for it and you will have it.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my next thing.
Good, good. I'm glad that you have a sense of direction. And sometimes we just have to discover, especially in this journey we call life. And, we're always constantly growing. Even David McCovey, he's always like, all right, what's like the next big play? Right? So, like, thankfully, we're in that situation. But I highly recommend, especially everyone that's still on this line, to take it one at a time, right? Make this a vehicle. Like, even with Chris Trujillo, like, I promise you, she wouldn't even be thinking about diversifying anything on anything else other than what she's already mastered. So now it puts her in a position to now diversify all the other things. So you get good at one thing, master it, then you put yourself in a position to do all these other things, and then having a place to be able to follow your passions is an incredible thing. I can only, like, I'll close with Michael Jordan. Like, what is he known for? It's definitely not baseball or his restaurants. He's known for his basketball and what he mastered. Once he reached the pinnacle of his basketball and become the person in basketball, he made all his fortune from that. Then from there, he was able to diversify. And so here we're at looking at Chris Trujillo and what she's saying. Like, she mastered this whole travel agent evolution thing to where now she created her identity, number one top income earner. Now her team is growing. She wants to create a bigger empire with her agents changing their lives. And then from there, like, with the resources that she's able to develop through this vehicle that each and every one of you have, to be able to diversify and do the things that her mind and heart and soul pull her to do, and even to have the luxury of having the moment of going into discovery mode, educating yourself, and then, like, doing able to repeat that. We're always students of the game, and so here we are, just doing, being able to live that out. So awesome. All right, so I know this has been a long one. Thank you so much for reversing the roles, Chris. You're a complete natural. I see you pursuing podcasting. I think that would be just tremendous for you, especially in English or Spanish format, doesn't matter. I think with your beautiful face and your personality, your strong mentality, and your achievements and what you've been able to do, I think you're going to go really far in anything that you pursue. So it just shows that every time that I see you, your mentality and everything else that comes with that.
Thank you for accepting the role reversing thing. I enjoyed it a lot, and I thought that it would be great for everyone to also listen to you, motivating
Well, and
them.
this is a good
'Cause
exercise for your new adventure too. I love it.
of course it was. I don't do anything without a longer,
That's
plan.
right.
So for me, it was like,
Love it.
let's just use Charles to
Yep. I
to
will be the
practice.
guinea pig all day. We'll
No,
do
it was
phenomenal.
awesome. I always love talking to any leader, like us being here in the, not in the US, doesn't get us so many opportunities to hang with you and to talk to you. And that's the only thing that I don't like of living here. Like every time we go to, well, Vegas, when where all the conventions have been, I never want to leave. Like I want to live here. I want to
Yeah.
be around these, like-minded people that always are, thinking in greatness, right? So I love talking to everyone, like David,
Uh,
you,
you
Sarah.
know, you make enough money. You can do it if you wanted to.
No, I wouldn't leave tacos, but I mean, I can go visit every other month.
You can make tacos here the way you
Not
want to make
not
it.
as good.
No, the way you
Not
want to
as
make
good.
it. You the way you want to
Mexican,
make it.
no, Mexican food is just it has to be here.
All right.
But hopefully sometime Ron and David would choose to do a Mexican convention. Maybe.
I just don't get this philosophy, guys. Look, she says the tacos and Mexican food is better in Mexico because of the mere fact that it's in Mexico. Now, I don't dispute that, but mind you, a lot of the
Exactly,
people
it's the
that
ingredients.
open restaurants in anywhere in USA are from Mexico. They bring the
No,
same ingredients, but maybe the meat is not from Mexico. But still, like
the
onions are
tortilla
gonna
is
be
not the same.
onions. Cilantro is gonna be cilantro. That's all I'm
No,
saying.
sir. No, sir. It's not the same. It's not the same. I will next posada, and everyone is invited. Next posada, I'm going to bring you some real street tacos and you will see that it's different.
Uh,
So different.
well, I know I love it no matter what, but the experience, I'm gonna tell you right now, is so incredible. Like, if you guys haven't been to Chris Trujillo's Posada events, man, that is a whole nother level. If you want to feel Mexican culture, just go there. We will beat the crap out of a piñata, and then you'll see like the dancing. It's just so incredibly fun. She truly brings the culture and a big eye awakening experience for those of you who've never experienced this. So if you've never been to it, please go.
But I will see you at convention,
That's right.
at the Carnival Cruise and
Can't
the
wait.
Queen Mary.
That's right.
I hope everyone or most of you will go.
Yeah.
It's a really, really great experience of convention, and mostly just to live the day that they announce next convention. It would be great because it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great destination, and I won't say more. But I hope that if you're not going to this year's convention, you're definitely going to the next one because it will be so worth it. So start saving some money so you can go. Okay. I'll see you there. And thank you, Charles, for your time.
Thank you, Chris, for doing this, and can't wait to see what's next in store for you.
Yep. See
All
you
right,
soon.
guys. Have an amazing one. Have a blessed weekend. We'll see you guys at convention. See you guys soon.